Okay, let's bring everybody in this room to we're going to listen to the refrain of the first song. We're going to be thinking of Joan. We can all sing and harmonize. I know there's harmonizers in here. There is love, there is love, love in this room. There is love in this room.
You guys can all sing with
There
us.
is love in this room. There is love in this room. There is love, love. There is love in this room. We know you're here in this room. In this room. This room, there is love. This room, there is
Hi, Rebecca. Are you still here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you? Yay! Everyone's back. Yay! Should I speak again?
Please do. We can hear you now. Sorry, I got disconnected.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, thank you. Yes, I was just wanting to speak a little bit to Joan's brilliance as a practitioner. We all, everybody knew her amazing, dear, giving, open heart, and I knew her that way, and well, I also knew her as a fellow practitioner. And I just wanted to say thank you, Joan, for everything you taught me, for every way you helped me as a patient, for the way you helped keep my 23-year-old cat alive longer than anyone thought possible. You had an amazing way of putting the pieces together and solving the mysteries and finding the missing parts that nobody else could see. And I'm just so grateful to you for all that you did, for me and for others and for everybody that you healed through your brilliance. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. That's all.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yes, there's time for you to speak, Juliet. If you show your hand, I can show. Okay, Juliet, hold on.
How many people are with us, Rob, on this?
Okay, shall I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead, Juliet.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Mary Watkins. That was beautiful. Joan had a sparkling smile and the most wonderful laugh. She told me once that she had learned to laugh like that from being around lesbians. I realized pretty early on in my friendship with Joan, which began in '91, that she was an extraordinary woman. And after I moved away from her beautiful Bay Area home, our connection continued through the telephone. And I really came to love her like a sister. I looked up to her. I tried to learn from her. Though I was 20 years younger than she, Joan never made me feel that age difference. She always showed me genuine respect. And I learned so much from Joan's love of women. She loved lesbians' heart and wisdom completely, and she tried to embody that. And through the unfailing generosity that so many here have spoken to, her kindness, speaking her truth clearly, and without rancor, making space for other women to speak their truth and organizing against injustice. Joan had the most inspiring vision of women's space, and I've heard that spoken to many times today. She helped me gain a different understanding of the concept of separatism than the conventional perception. And though I came to understand it that rather than excluding, which focuses on what's outside, it is a way of focusing inwardly on affirming our femaleness that had been so vilified for millennia. She reminded me that separatism was the foundation of the Michigan Women's Music Festival, and the underpinnings of her own Labrys Health Circle. And since she explained that to me all those years ago, I have come to speak on behalf of women's space and Latina space and the space for many people. It really changed my understanding of things. I so appreciated her Gemini way of wrestling with ideas and speaking about them. And she moved through ideas so swiftly. I had a hard time keeping up with them. It was always something new on the horizon with her. There's so much more I could say about Joan, just that I loved her so dearly. And I really appreciate being in this room with all of you today from thousands of miles away. Thank you for sharing that and all the beautiful music today.
Thank you, Juliet. I just want to say that we have as many people, if not more, on Zoom as here. Right now, we have 38 people participating on Zoom, and people are coming and going. I've got a received RSVP of like almost 75 people just through Zoom. So it's really gone beyond this. So just wanted to share that. Who would like to speak more here? I had Penny. I'm going to remove the spotlight from Juliet. So give me 1 second. Okay, guys, I have a phone and I'm going to take the phone around to show you more details of the altar and everything on the stage. So I'm going to put both my phone and this on spotlight so you can see both. One will be static, another will be rotating, okay? Okay, so I don't know, give me a moment. Penny, give me a moment. Where's my phone? Yes, someone said rope. Go ahead, Penny, as I do this.
Okay.
Hi, I met Joan at a ritual sometime in the early 90s. And we got to talking about bodies and health and women. It's a great ritual. Shortly after, I wrote to her and said that I was interested in working with her. And the minor detail of the fact that living below the poverty line could have been a big roadblock, but she made it be hardly a roadblock at all. Most of the time, never a roadblock. She worked with me in figuring that out. And one of the things that she did was she hosted for me in the Labrys office an art show of my work to support my chiropractic. expenses, and women from everywhere came and they bought everything. It was great. And I think it was Joan, I'm not sure, who bought one of my pieces and put it in between the kitchen and Laura's office, which it sat there for many years, and I'm sure whoever has it, I hope they're still happy with it. Joan introduced me to the idea of writing in your own file so that anything you want, you don't have to take up office time. I would come in early and I would write as whatever I wanted to, and then she would add, ask questions. She did a lot of allergy work, and my partner and I love cats, and we got our cat about 18, 20 years ago, and I was having a mild reaction, and I brought in cat fur from the cat, and she totally eliminated my allergy to his fur. And what I always found amusing was she would dig out the file, and there's this orange fur clipped to the inside of my file to this very day. I'm not sure what else to say. We became good friends. I was lucky. I got to be most of the time at the end of her day. And so we would get to hang out a bit and talk about things, or sometimes ahead of the appointment, she would have just had a break, and we would hang out and talk about things. She was the most, and you've already heard this, but she was the most open, giving, passionate lover of women and lover of our lives and our culture. And she did so much to bring that out in us, to create channels for it to flow between us. And oh my God, my neck sure misses her, I'll tell you that. She also created an incredible web of women. And I can't say more than that. We know this, and we need to honor this and try to keep it in our lives, in how we treat each other and how we treat ourselves and who we do what with, which isn't any of my business. I guess that's as much as I can say about Joan, an incredible, incredible person. Thanks very much.
So I'm doing this weird thing because I'm showing people there, everything, the whole thing. But I would love, once we stop being so formal, go around and connect with all of Joan's things, they're all here.
Are these lemons from her backyard?
It's lemons from her tree, Christy, right? And she wants everyone to take a lemon and find yours. And Joy is going to speak now. Sorry, Joy.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
So for those of you that don't know, I'm Joy Jennings. I worked for Joan back sometime in the early 90s for a while. And then I went on and had a whole other career. And then I retired and I came back and I worked for her for another 2 years. She's like the best boss ever, I have to say. And we became friends. But I wanted to tell you how I met Joan. So I moved to the Bay Area from the East Coast to go to massage therapy school. And because I wanted to be in a place where I wasn't considered a freak for being a lesbian and a vegetarian and a feminist. So, and I wanted to learn massage. So, where else would I come? So I had no job and I needed money. And I got hired by a disabled woman who needed a personal assistant. And she was a patient of Joan Margaret's. So one day I drove her to her appointment and they actually invited me into the appointment with her. And I got to watch what she did and I was just astounded at what she did with the muscle testing and everything. And I had a long medical history myself, but always through Western medicine. So this was my first dip into alternative medicine. And I was hooked, so I became a patient. So, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do now that she's gone. I'm gonna try to find somebody, but there will be no one that can replace her. And sometimes, you know, she does all this muscle testing, but it's not always with your arms. Sometimes your legs are up in the air, or it's like doing acrobatics. And I used to joke with her that I would laugh sometimes during our appointments, and I would joke with her that it was like going to the circus when you were being treated by her. And it was magical. And I second everything everyone else has said. She's so generous, she's so loving, she's so open-hearted. She is such a glass half full person, and I'm a glass half empty person. And this last 2 years that I worked with her, I really paid attention to that and soaked that up to teach myself more how to be more glass half full. Because she, you know, this last year was hard for her medically. And, you know, you'd ask her how she was doing, and she always had a big smile on her face. So she was fine, even when she wasn't, you know. And I would press her a little more to find out really what was going on. But that positivity that she carried with her served her well and helped so many of us. So I just really appreciate that. I love her. And I will dearly miss her, as all of you will too, I'm sure. Thank you.
Our dear Jones is here in terms of her ashes. Susan Polico and Christy, thank you for getting this to us today to celebrate with us. What I would like to do is I'm going to put this in this basket, and I'd like to pass this around, and you can say your goodbyes or whatever you want to Joan, and it will come back. I'm not sure. This is going to go on as we continue, so that you can say your private goodbyes to Joan. And I will hold this basket to you, but you virtually can also do that as we say goodbye to Joan. Go on, Anne.
Hi, I'm Anne Valiant. I've known Joan for many years and have many of the same stories. The best thing she ever did for me was connect me with my partner, Mariko. I saw Joan a few days before she died. She was, that death pallor was coming over and she was pretty subdued. And we were talking about my ALS diagnosis, and I told her about the neurologist at the Kaiser ALS clinic, talking with Mariko and me about assisted dying. And her face brightened up and she said, "You are so lucky." And it struck me also that the other women who were in the room, none of them knew about it. None of them knew that California law, if a doctor says you have 6 months or less to live, they can help you die. And Joan was really supportive of the fact that I have that choice, and glad for me that I have that choice. And I'm really glad to be here today with all of you.
It's time to slowly close. Yes, stop. So that you have whoever wants to go next few minutes. We have probably 5 more minutes to do this and Shazam. After that, please close.
Can we move this so I can lean against?
Absolutely.
Joan when I was in a living room singing group. And one night she and her partner Charles showed up. And Joan was just this sparkling, bright person. And we were singing Renaissance part songs, and she would often harmonize, which upset all the so-called real musicians. But her choices were always terrific. And there are some things that Joan did that people may not know. A long time ago, when she was very young, she and her friend Chris rode the freight train to Alaska to work in a cannery for the summer. And she learned how when someone had to shoot a bear, the cannery shut down and everyone went to help deal with the bear. Once she and Charles, I mean, I was always so impressed by her bravery. You know, if something seemed like a good idea to her, all common knowledge was going to dissuade her. But she still had things to work. And once she and Charles rode his motorcycle to the Montreal World's Fair. And halfway across the prairie provinces, she got pretty tired of the back of his helmet, and she got off, got on the train, went to Montreal, and by the time Charles dragged himself in there, she had a free apartment. There's a big park in the middle of Montreal. It's like a hill, big hill. And she had hiked to the top of the hill just to see the layout of the place. And there was a couple there stressing over the fact that they had to go away and they hadn't found anyone to work, and with cats. And so he not only came to a free apartment, cats. And I had worked in regular healthcare in various positions for a time. And when I first went to see Joan as a patient, I wasn't sure I believed this stuff. I remember, Linda, you opened doors for me in my mind, and I can't thank you. And just working with Joan, pressing on various parts of me, I walked out of there a much more unified person, you know. But just know that when she and Chris were riding the trains, the men looked over them, they watched over them and told them how to make it work. You know, and that's what Joan brought out in people. You know? And I still say a lot of her comments were better. Thanks for letting me tell you about that.
My name's Aaron, and I didn't think I was going to say anything, but just hearing all of you guys talk about her has been really special. I came actually through Laura, my partner, Nisha at the time, and it became evident that maybe it wasn't nutrition that was the issue, and it was some more like deeper stuff. And I think as a kid, I really believed in magic, and I've lost that like somewhere along the way, and suddenly I'm laying on in this warm room where the sun seemed to shine perfectly all the time. And she has me hold a vial, and then of course I'm a big human, she was not, and hold back. And of course she couldn't move my hand to do anything, and then she put some chicken feather or something, some madness in there. And I can't hold my arm up. It's just like there's nothing I can do. And so for the next 15 or 20 years, she worked on me and my daughter, my dad, Luca, who is 5 now, but was 2 at the time and had some eczema, and he wouldn't stay on the table. And so she put me on the table. You mentioned it. And within a week, his eczema's gone. And she checks when I go back, but he didn't have to come, he was back in Santa Rosa. I'm just like, so I believe in magic again because of this woman, and obviously some of you too. And so just like I'm really, when I've been calling and hadn't got a response and was worried. And then when I got that email, I texted my wife, and she called me back, and I was like trying to leave work and get out of there. I just had to pull over on the side of the road and I'm bawling, and she's like, I hadn't cried like that in a long time. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. You must be so sad. And I realized that I wasn't. Because if this woman, this spirit could transition, like if that's possible. And my oldest daughter was like, was she 60 or like 750? I don't know. But if she is allowed, and that's possible for her to transition, then it must be okay. So, like, thank you, Joan, and thank you for having me and talk about that. I really appreciate it.
You can go on talking and talking, the people need to close.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I have a closing for you. Oh, okay.
And I just had a song.
Go ahead.
I want to thank you, Joan, for getting me back to singing. I have not been doing it for decades. I walked by your house. It was so wonderfully painted. I had to meet whoever's house it was, and that took me to the Organic Women's Chorus. And this is sung by the local Osborne. Oh, right. Just get this off. It's much easier. Remember me, remember me. I am the stars in the sky, the eagles that fly. I'm always nearby. Remember me, remember me. When the waves in the sea, the ancient oak tree, reach out and touch me. I'm in every breath you take when the wind blows. I'm in the sunlight, yeah. Oh, I messed up the notes. Remember me. Well, I promised Marianne I would get it nailed. However, it's organic.
Now, a couple of things. Okay. Shazam is going to sing. And as she sings, I would love all of you to come close here with Joan. Because I'd like to take a picture of Joan with all of us, including the people over there. And it would be at Labyrinth so that we know we have a community that we are going to continue. Is that okay? And if you don't want to be, it's fine, but please gather here as we sing.
My name is Susan, and I'm a practitioner and member of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. And when we celebrate somebody's life from our center, we celebrate the goodness of their life and the givingness of who and what they are to us.
I'll have to see. I'll let you know tomorrow because I'm going to go on. I've only got like 3 days off. Yeah.
Please, everyone.
Is there one day that's better
Oh,
for you
God.
to hang out?
Okay, please mute yourself. Please, we can hear all that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you mute yourself, whoever is speaking on Zoom?
Okay. So we have a tradition here
Okay.
at our center, and
All
I'd
right.
like you to share it with me.
Bye-bye.
To give a standing ovation for the life well lived of Joan. To celebrate that life that gave you as much as she did. So here's to you, Joan. I wanted to say goodbye in a happy way. Goodbyes can be very sad. Let's celebrate right now for our work and our lives. Let's celebrate for the time that we've had. We will live from here and go our separate ways, but never really part. You've enabled me
to work the way I do. I hope I've been the same for you. For we will live from here and go on our separate ways, but never really part. For even now, we're making memories that will remain in our heart. For even now, we're making memories that will remain in our heart. Cheese for Joe.
Let's say thank you to the Zoom people and we can say goodbye. Bye, people. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We will continue a little bit here. I know.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Roke. Thank you so much. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you, Susan Calico.
Yeah, thank you, Susan Calico. Yeah, thank you to all the beloved care team. That's great.
You are needed in front of Zoom. Hold on, everyone. I'm getting, I'll do a view. And I'm going to remove the spotlight so that you can see each other.
You did a great job. Thank you so much.
Roke, you did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you, Roke.
Roke, can you unspotlight Patricia's iPhone too? Thank you.
That will be good. Okay, so if everyone can come up, and I am going to get you in the midst, the people. Say hi.
Hello, everybody. Glad to see you there. Hey, everybody. Happy Joan to you.
Can you see us and hear us? Oh, is that the Zoomers? Hey, everybody. Say hi to the Zoomers.
Hi. Jody's still there. Hi.
Here's Mary. Sorry, people are like, show us to Mary. Just say, there's like 50 people here. They're saying hello to you.
Oh, hello. Hello. God bless you. Wow, what a lovely array of strong women.
Yeah. Say hi to all the people on Zoom.
Hello.
So now we are all going out to eat, which you can't. But just to show you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. They want to say hi to Laura.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you for coming.
Hi.
Bye. Thank you for coming.
All the Zoom people, thanks for coming. Okay, lovelies, I think I'm going to go off. And please write anything you want to write to that email address. We are compiling everything. And we'll have a tribute section on labrishealthcarecircle.com. And when it's ready, we'll send out the link. We'll put the slideshow. There's a couple of videos we couldn't show. Any video from here, whatever you want, let me know. I'll put them there so that you can access it all the time. And this is just the beginning of the renewal of a woman's circle. So let's do it. I think we should call it Joan's Circle or Joan's Women. And we maybe, we'll meet every month once and connect. It would be good to talk about health, life, love, being a woman, everything. Okay? I'll send you an email if you're doing it. Enjoy, everyone. Bye.
I'm Janet Knight, and I talked with you.
Janet,
Yeah,
hold on, I'm going to end this thing.